Okay, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Sunday Mass with the Fantasy Bible, coming to you live every Sunday, 11:45 to 12:45, with fantasy news. While I keep talking, I'm actually going to tweet the link out because I forgot to do that. I don't have my phone on me. Well, hopefully you can find us by just coming to our YouTube channel. It does look like we have a viewer in the stream. Dane, do you have access to our Twitter right now by any chance?
I am checking on that. Go ahead with the intro as planned. I will see what I can do.
Okay, I'll send you the link to this to share on there. But yeah, I'll be very honest with everybody that's listening. We are kind of unprepared for this one because there's not really a lot of discussion to be had. It's kind of like if you have a player, you are starting that player. A bit of news that may affect your lineups. It looks like the weather for the Sunday night football game, which is the 49ers and Colts, is expected to be pretty bad. Pretty strong downpour in the forecast, as well as consistent winds up to 17 miles an hour and gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Now, if you've been doing this fantasy thing for a while, you are probably well aware that wind is a far bigger factor in a quarterback's game plan than rain is. So keep an eye on that forecast. And if it's just rain, I would still feel confident in rolling out Jimmy G. Well, not confident, but if you're rolling out Jimmy G, you're doing it because you're filling a bye week hole, and he's a popular streaming candidate this week. So I would feel confident rolling him out if the weather isn't too bad. But if we see the wind reports are consistent anywhere around 30 miles an hour, that's going to be the speed that is fast enough to impact, the way of football travels in the air. And so just keep an eye on that report as the day continues. I know that if you check the fantasy football subreddit, there are often people that go to the game and will throw a football in the parking lot to try and determine the wind force. So there are additional resources out there for you if you're kind of concerned about the weather. But yeah, that's my spiel on the San Francisco game.
I love those anecdotes of I'm going to the game today. I'll throw a football in the parking lot and report back. It's like, okay. I love
There's
it.
one, yeah, there's one I want to say it was like the Cowboys versus the Patriots a few years ago that like sparked the trend of like I'm at Foxborough, just try to throw a football and it blew right into my friend's truck or something like that. And then like that game, like both Tom Brady and Dak Prescott just had terrible games passing, and that sort of popularized the parking lot viewer test, which, hey, I mean, I think it's fairly valid.
So we'll jump right into a question that I'm trying to decide live on air because I just got noticed by a sleeper app that Ramondre Stevenson, running back for the New England Patriots, is inactive today. There was no real news leading up to this point, so he was in my starting lineup. Now I'm staring down a last minute waiver wire pickup. I have no other healthy running backs that are playing this week on my roster. So I'm looking at Kenneth Gainwell, Philadelphia running back who plays Las Vegas, Giovanni Bernard, running back for Tampa Bay. They play the Bears. Le'Veon Bell, my God, it gets rough after that. DJ Dallas, don't even know how much work he's going to get for the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Kyle Juszczyk, Salvin Ahmed, Jerick McKinnon, like those are the names I'm looking at, man.
Okay, so I mean, I feel your pain. I'm trying to think. So, all right, Le'Veon Bell. No, that doesn't make sense. McKissick, not McKissick. McKinnon. What did McKinnon do last week? It was kind of the Darrell Williams show, right?
Yeah, he did next to nothing last week. 3 attempts, 1 reception. He did get 4 targets, but I mean, so maybe you're just hoping he gets work in a what should be a very high scoring game with the Tennessee
No, with
Titans
the
and
Titans.
Chiefs.
Yeah. The Titans' pass defense is so bad that like they might not even run the ball that game. They might just go through the air the whole time. Is Tyree Kill playing this week?
Yes, he is. Thank
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah, that would have been rough. All right. So what were your other choices? Kenny Gainwell and
Giovanni Bernard, Lev Bell, DJ Dallas, Kyle Juszczyk.
so the only name that's interesting to me in that is like DJ Dallas because oh no, but Alex Collins is playing, right?
Yeah, that's what Pete Carroll says, and that's still kind of up in the air. I don't know how healthy he really is or how much work he'll get. It could be just like a disgusting 4-person split, or I don't even know. It's hard to predict, and I hate waiting for that Monday night game because I don't really know what I'm getting until the last minute injury update 90 minutes before that game. So I can't really rely on that now on Sunday.
Yeah, I think you got to go with Kenny Gainwell. I mean, the one upside to Kenny Gainwell is he's at least scored. Like it's not like you look at his history and he's never done it before, which is like what you can say about a lot of these players is they've never done it before or never done it this season. Kenny Gainwell's had games where he scored 17 points already. Should be a fairly competitive matchup. I don't like his floor at all. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty much zero, but
yeah,
they seem to, yeah, I don't know. They phased him a little bit out of the passing game in a attempt to get the Miles Sanders the ball more, but it's not really working. So they could always go back to Gainwell. I mean, none of these choices are really appealing, but he's I guess, the player that I see potentially getting the most work. Um,
yeah. I am worried about the recent trend we're seeing in the past 2 weeks. He went from mid 30s in snap percentage and some red zone opportunities, and then last 2 weeks he fell to like 23 and 25% snap share. Like you said, his targets were cut in half or worse. Not really seeing any carries. So
and the odd
yeah,
point is like it's not like he did anything to earn that demotion. Maybe
right.
that's a point in favor of Kenny Gainwell. Is it's not like he was playing badly and they pulled him. I think it was just a function of like wanting to get Miles Sanders involved more, to see what they have in Miles Sanders, to see if Miles Sanders is potentially a player worth extending after this season. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm looking at these. It's hilarious to me that Juszczyk is even here, but he probably does have a like a 5 point 5 point ceiling, 5 point floor.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about it honestly. He's on the field a lot. He's been a lot more involved in the passing game, while George Kittle has been out for that team. 49ers. They play the Colts this week. I don't expect it to be a barn burner or anything, but I mean, Juszczyk probably has as good of a bet at a touchdown than any of these guys. Really, I don't love it at all.
Maybe
It's
maybe
rough.
it's maybe it's worth noting that like so I'm looking at Kenny Gainwell's snap share 35%. Like it's gone down the past 2 weeks, but it was never over even 40. So it's like he
Yeah,
did his damage on playing a third of the snaps before. So it's possible. Salvin Ahmed, however you say it. Yeah. He led the team in carries last week.
with
They
7.
with 7 of them. He's got a good matchup.
Yeah, I remember my start of the week being any running back who was healthy and could see 8 or more touches, and now I'm looking at none of those. It's rough.
All right. You want my hot take? Here's who you should start.
Yeah,
Chris Evans.
that's interesting. It's not a terrible hot take. They do play the Ravens this week, which is kind of concerning. The Ravens have looked pretty good on defense last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Ravens defense has come alive. It's like the defense we expected to see. Per Jeff Hobson of the Bengals official site, head coach Zach Taylor noted that the team doesn't necessarily have set roles in mind for Evans and P. Ryan, given that they can both catch, protect, and run. So I mean, essentially you're hoping for touchdown upside, like that Chris Evans does what he did last week and catches a ball and then takes it to the house. I'm just looking through these options here. Evans seems to be talented. Yeah, the lower I scroll on this list of available running backs, the more depressing it gets. I mean, there is Giovanni Bernard, but I don't see a point in starting him.
Yeah, I agree. Oh man. So I'm either leaning for DJ Dallas, hoping he just gets a lot of work based on all the injuries there, or I guess Kenneth Gainwell or Kyle Juszczyk. I don't want to start Lev Bell. I don't know. I don't think he'll get more than 4 touches this game. He did get 8 attempts last week, though, I guess. I don't know.
And he got in the end zone, yeah. Is Tyson Williams available?
I don't think he's active again.
Oh, he's not active again. Sheesh.
Or no. Sorry, that's the news report from last week.
Oh, that is the last week. But yeah.
I can't do it though.
Malcolm Brown is available.
No.
Yeah, it's a rough week. I would go with Kenny Gainwell personally, or Juszczyk if you just wanted to watch the whatchamacallit, the Sunday night game and have a player in that. I mean, if here's the thing, if the weather is really bad tonight, they're going to be leaning on the running game more. And Juszczyk is such a key part of that. There's times that he gets in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm going use check. Forget it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Okay, well, maybe you can help me with a similar. I'm looking at wide receiver 3. This is a position I've cycled through many players throughout the week. Right now, I'm rolling out Darius Slayton. Also available is Russell Gage, Zach Pascal. The sleeper's doing this very weird thing where I can't pick up someone that I dropped.
Did you have them on your roster for like longer than a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it usually puts those people on a lock for like a day or two after that, depending on the league settings.
That's kind of annoying. I might try and change that next year because normally you can just pick and add players at will on Sunday mornings, right?
No, it depends how long the player's been held on a roster. Like if somebody picked him up Saturday night and then dropped him Sunday morning, then he's eligible to be picked up that morning. But if you drop a player right before the games on Sunday and you've had this guy for a couple days, then he won't be available for pickup until after Sunday.
Seems kind of weird and arbitrary to me.
I think it's been like that as the default setting in our leagues in years past as well.
Interesting. Well, I say that because I dropped Quez Watkins to pick up Darius Slayton, which I think is probably still the move given the
I think so.
Giants wide receiver core. But I was like, man, it stinks that if I change my mind, I can't go grab Watkins again. Yeah, Russell Gage is out there. Russell Gage, a lot of preseason hype, has scored, I think, 5 points total on the fantasy season. He's been injured and out of a lot of games, played 53% of the snaps in his last active game compared to, let's see, Zach Pascal is out there. He had 1 target last week, not a lot of options. I think I might just have to go with Darius Slayton.
I think he is the move. There is a league where I'm starting Dante Pettis, who is also a wide receiver for the New York Giants. Yeah, with all the injuries there for the Giants, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard. Is actually Sterling Shepard's out, right?
I don't know. Sterling Shepard is a game time decision.
Oh yeah, that's a miserable experience for that team. Evan Ingram was barely able to be active this week with a calf injury. Like it's just next man up for this team, and they play Carolina, so it's so miserable. But Dante Pettis could have 10 points this week, and I would love it.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, so that leads me to my next question: tight end. Would you rather start OJ Howard or Evan Ingram this week?
Yeah, that's actually a situation I'm experiencing as well. I did lean OJ Howard, I think, just based on Evan Ingram's risky re-injury here with his calf injury that he's been nursing all week. It's been keeping him out of practice.
OJ Howard has also been nursing an injury all week, I believe.
I think so too. I don't remember what his is, but
ankle.
I believe ankle. Oh man, yeah. So there's really no great answer. I would just lean better. I would lean the better offense with the Bucks. Gronk's out. I think Antonio Brown is out on the Bucks as well. So just hoping for 4 targets on a good offense.
Yeah, I was leaning Ingram at first, but this is like the same league, so I'd be rolling out Darius Slayton and Evan Ingram. And if you like heard my Giants rant on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, like just the idea of rolling out 2 Giant players in one game seems pretty miserable for me. I haven't been checking it. We don't have any questions coming in, do we? No, it doesn't look like it. All right. Well, I do have a preseason question from my friend Shen, who is, facing similar struggles tonight, and she's starting Jimmy G at quarterback. Those weather reports came out. Justin Fields is available for her on the waiver wire. Justin Fields playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay not at all susceptible to the run, very susceptible to the pass. We talked about it a little bit on our last show, how people keep saying, oh, Justin Fields rushing floor, rushing quarterback. He hasn't really done that. So I told her to start Jimmy G, but I could regret that by tonight if there's a windstorm out there and, Justin Fields rushes for two touchdowns or finally gets the passing game going against the Bucs or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of dire straits for both of those quarterbacks. I wish they would just let Justin Fields run the ball more. Like, why is he? I mean, he did have 43 rushing yards last week against Green Bay, but they're all just scrambles, really. They're not doing any
Right.
kind
They're not
of,
like designed runs or anything like that. Yeah.
yeah, which is very disappointing to see based on what we thought about Justin Fields going into the season. But I think I would just lean him because he will have like a 20-point rushing floor, I'd say, which is nothing great.
20 point. He's never scored that many points in his life.
Sorry, 20-yard rushing
Oh,
floor.
20 yard. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you'll get,
Yeah.
2 points there. He'll have 150 yards passing and then hopefully a touchdown on the ground to save your week. I would lean him, but I don't love it. I just think they'll be passing the ball a lot more than they've been doing in the past. And he could have his best game of the year so far. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. And, Jimmy G tonight could have a solid game, but if the weather is bad, like that could just ruin everything. I am starting Jimmy G in a league where my only other option is Davis Mills. Well, actually, I'm flexing Davis Mills in that league. So, yeah, it's a rough week. It's a very rough week.
Yeah, my spirit is crushed, and it's just been tough to field. Like, having multiple leagues on a week like this is just miserable because you can finally figure out one lineup and then you look at your next one and you're like, oh God, this is worse than the other one.
Mhm.
And then by the time you finish setting that lineup, you get a notification that the guy in your other lineup is out. Now you have to, I don't know, it's been rough.
Waller went out this morning.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he's not playing, then like I have to figure out which tight ends are available at 4 o'clock that I can start over Darren Waller, and like in retrospect, what I should have done with the Darnus Johnson thing is just not played a tight end this week because like, the 3 to 7 points that you get from the tight end probably isn't worth it. It just feels so counterintuitive to not be starting a player there. All right. What about, so I'm in a league where I'm starting Cameron Brate. OJ Howard's on the waiver wire. Cole Kmet is on the waiver wire. Someone named Jonnu Smith. I thought that was an L. Jonnu Smith is on the waiver wire. Gerald Everett's on the waiver wire. CJ Azuma was someone I was thinking about as a bit of a saucy play.
Yeah, he's been surprising me lately. He's seeing a lot more work than I thought. He's running more routes than Tyler Boyd is on that offense. So there's a conversation to be had whether he's the third option above Tyler Boyd on that offense in recent weeks. They do have a very tough matchup against the Ravens, so I don't love it. But yeah, as far as desperation tight end play last minute, he's fine. Cole Kmet is another good name to mention, like you did. They played the Bucks. They should have to pass a bit more than they want to, but probably not a volume play, just a fill in there. And then maybe if Waller is out, you just pivot to the other tight end on the Raiders. I forget his name, but he's on the field more than I expect him to be.
Raiders tight ends. This is professional. I didn't even know they had it. I just thought they had Waller.
Foster Moreau, that's the name I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
He's a serviceable pass catcher when he's needed in Darren Waller's absence in the past. It's definitely not a great play, but if you want to wait all the way up until kickoff and just quickly pivot to him, if you have someone to drop, then you don't have to think too much about it.
Well, I don't think I'm going to start Cameron Brate. I don't know if I want to start OJ Howard in 2 different leagues. Hayden Hurst is also out there. That's kind of an interesting name.
I guess, yeah. It's rough,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
So for me right now, it's between Cole Kmet, who is probably the floor play, and CJ Azuma, just because it's like an absurd ceiling play. Like if it works out, it would be kind of fun. But I think T. Higgins is healthy this week.
Yeah.
Not a lot of available pass catchers in that offense. Or there are a lot of available pass catchers in that offense. Man, this is a rough week.
Yeah, I think you go Uzama there. I don't know. Probably the highest ceiling.
Yeah, why not? It's not like, all right. Goodbye, Cameron Brate, even though you are projected for the most points out of all these people.
Man, so our 1 o'clock game slate is looking pretty good. There's some pretty good matchups here with the Chiefs versus Titans, Bengals versus
That's a
Ravens.
1 o'clock game?
Yeah, it is.
Why the heck is the NFL making us watch 49ers and Colts tonight and Saints and Seahawks tomorrow? And they got that as a 1 o'clock game.
Well, I think when they made the schedules, they expected those
Right.
teams to be a lot better than they are currently. and especially dealing with
Saints and
injuries.
Seahawks, I can understand. The Colts one is a little wild to me.
Well, the Colts were a playoff team last year. You know, we saw them make some moves in the offseason with Carson Wentz. And
exactly.
Yeah, I know. But the 49ers could very easily have been at the top of their division thus far. They are not, though. They are bottom of their division with Jimmy G injured, of course. Shocker. Yeah, I agree. These primetime games, Sunday night, Monday night, shouldn't be too thrilling, but probably going to see a lot of Jonathan Taylor in that game.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor has really emerged on the scene. I'm hoping he struggles a bit so our preseason takes can come true.
Yeah, because we want to be right more than we want NFL players to succeed.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. I think that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I would say that's true. All right. So, yeah, 1 p.m. slate. Cincinnati and Baltimore is going to be a good game as well.
Yeah, I agree. That should be a test of if Joe Burrow can hang with the top tier teams like the Ravens have been. They're 5-1. Bengals are 4-2. I believe it's the only game against two teams with a winning record this week, which is interesting because you have the Chiefs playing this week as well, and they have a 500 record. So that's pretty crazy there.
Oh, you're right. I'm just looking down the. Yeah, that's nuts.
It is.
All right. Why don't we? I don't know if we have any other lineup. Do you have any other lineup things to discuss?
Let's see. I do have just one start set decision in a dynasty format. For like a flex play, would you change? Like, how do you feel about Damien Williams, who just came off the COVID list for the Chicago Bears, running back there? Like, is he going to get work? I feel like there's no guarantee because he's coming off the COVID list on a Saturday afternoon. Like, he didn't practice all week. He's just getting into the like, I don't even know if he made the trip with the team at this point. Like, it's just so probably not him. But then you have DJ Dallas, Kenyan Drake, Devontae Booker. Like, any of those guys, would you start them above T. Higgins or Chase Edmonds?
Maybe Devontae Booker.
Yeah, I'm thinking he might just get enough work to make it work. You know, like, he had a 9-point game last week, which is not great, but he had 12 attempts rushing and 4 receptions on 4 targets. Like, if that ends up in a touchdown for him, he's a 15-point play and he's a great start.
Yeah, I mean, Damien Williams against the Tampa Bay front probably isn't a good play. Well, yeah.
So would you start Booker over T. Higgins, half-point PPR, like just for the floor, like T. Higgins?
No, I would have started him over Chase Edmonds, I think.
Okay. Chase Edmonds plays Houston now.
Yeah, it's a good matchup, but I don't know if I buy game scripts anymore.
Okay. I understand.
Like it's a good matchup for, like, okay. I guess what I mean is, like, if Nick Chubb is your running back, then yeah, Nick Chubb is going to like feed off, when he has a matchup like that. But I don't know if someone of Chase Edmonds tier is really like I don't know if the Cardinals are going to get to a point where they're like, all right, let's close out this game with Chase Edmonds. You know what I mean? Like, if anyone, James Conner, I feel like would be doing that work. So it is a good matchup, just like the fact that the Houston defense sucks, but I don't know if it's like the run out the clock game script running back positive thing that you want to see. But at the same time, I would just roll it with what's been working. And Chase Edmonds has been solid.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year, which is kind of shocking on that offense, but hopefully now's his time. We'll see. I just didn't like what I've seen out of Devontae Booker. He's averaging less than 3.5 yards per carry between his last 2 games. So you're really just hoping for some targets and a touchdown. He's a floor play. That's fine. And he's probably the best option for a lot of people this week.
Well, speaking of floor plays, okay, I've got an interesting one. This is a 2-parter. So flex, this is in the Fantasy Footballers Megala Bowl. My current flex players are Dallas Goedert and Rondale Moore. Travis Kelce is my tight end, so that's why Goddard is being flexed there. Would you start Khalil Herbert over either of those players?
I don't think so, just because the uncertainty that Damien Williams being activated off the COVID list brings to that backfield. I think it'll be more of a 50-50 split, assuming that Damien Williams is playing, which we have to assume he is.
And yeah, the matchup is just terrible against the Bucks. So
Yeah.
I think
I don't want to. Yeah.
there's a risk of like a 1.5 point game from Herbert.
There's nothing worse than like starting your running back against the Bucks and just like watching Vita Vea play and
Yeah.
just like destroy your running back. So yeah, I get okay. So I don't know. Do you have Kenyan Drake in any leagues?
I do. Yeah, he was part of that decision I gave you just last question. And then I do have him in a second league where I have to either start Alex Collins, who is presumably healthy from what we've heard, or Kenyan Drake.
Gotcha. So I was listening to Benjamin Solak, who accurately predicted the result of the Thursday night game that everyone thought the Broncos were going to win. He said Case Keenum is just as good as Baker Mayfield with how Baker Mayfield's been playing. Don't expect the Browns offense to take a dip. And that is exactly what happened. He is of the opinion that Kenyan Drake is going to have a big game this week because the Philadelphia linebackers are so bad.
Okay, that's a good take actually, and I think I'm more willing to start Kenyan Drake than I have been up to this point based on the coaching change with Gruden out and Satya, I believe his name is, special teams coach, now interim head coach for the Raiders. I think I'm more willing to take a risk on Kenyan Drake that he's going to be a little more involved. He just got lucky with 2 touchdowns last week. He didn't really get more touches, but maybe that's a boost for that offense. They saw him as a highlight of their game and will want to get him more involved, especially near the goal line. But it really is Josh Jacobs' backfield. So that's what I'm worried about.
It is Josh Jacobs' backfield. There are a couple of ways that it could work out. So if Waller plays, I think the Eagles are going to have like they'll probably put Steven Nelson, their CB2 on Ruggs, and then they'll probably put their CB1 on Waller, Darius Slay. And then that leaves the middle of the field open for running back targets. So, and if Waller doesn't play, then that's even more. The wide receivers are blanketed in coverage, and like the running back targets may be more susceptible. So, I do understand the argument, but yeah, it's obviously no one's super excited to be starting Kenyan Drake, especially after like the 2 performances prior to last week's sort of explosion.
Yeah, I think I will lean on the side of Kenyan Drake just because I know he's healthy and going to play and have a role, whatever that role is in that offense. And Alex Collins, I truthfully don't know if he's going to be on the field at all. So I'm not going to be able to take that risk. And there's no DJ Dallas, there's no Travis Homer, there's no Rashad Penny on this waiver wire. So I can't pivot last minute. I'm just not going to take the risk. So I'm going to.
I saw that happen. Like I saw like Travis Homer get snapped up and like it was like one by one, the Seattle running backs. And I'm like, what? It's just kind of funny. Like the Seattle offense has such a low ceiling right now. I wouldn't be excited to start any of them, especially since the Saints defense has been like inconsistent, but overall pretty solid. Which actually leads to my next question. Would you start the New Orleans defense this week against Seattle or the Miami defense against Atlanta?
I think I would go New Orleans defense against Seattle. Geno Smith
Miami's been so bad.
Yeah, Miami very disappointing on all sides of the ball, all 2 sides of the ball. I guess 3 special teams, but but truthfully, the Saints should have a great game against the Seahawks. Saints are coming off a bye; they've had a chance to game script for this, and Geno Smith is he's a serviceable veteran quarterback backup guy, but Saints are going to be able to take advantage. Their defense has just looked explosive so far this year.
Solid. All right. I think that is all my lineup queries. I thought maybe we could. Do you have any more before we move on?
No.
I thought we could close this out. I'm going to check one more league just to see what's up there. But I thought we could close this out with a quick pick'em slate and just try and see who we think is winning the slate of today's game. Since there's not a lot of fantasy stuff to talk about, you're basically starting whoever you have the ability to start this week. I'm looking. Okay, you wouldn't start. Oh, Darren Waller is projected for 0 points. Oof.
So they're assuming he's going to be out now?
They're assuming he's going to be out on ESPN, yeah.
What does the news blurb say? Does it say just game time decision still, or?
News blurb says is viewed as a game time decision.
Yeah, it's so rough.
So, all right. So that means I need to drop Oh, I can drop the Saints defense because I started the Broncos defense this week, and the Saints play Tampa Bay next week. So I might as well pick up a player right now so you can help me figure out who the hell I'm going to start instead of Darren Waller. Definitely not winning this week. The highest projected tight end is I think I'll just pick up Foster Moreau, and that kind of streamlines my decision-making process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to put too much thought into it. If Waller is inactive, we can assume that Moreau will be somewhat involved. Obviously not to the level of Darren Waller, but he'll be on the field as much as Darren Waller would have been.
Yeah, the other options are everyone we've already talked about, like OJ Howard and Cameron Brate, Cole Kmet, et cetera, et cetera. So it might just be easier for me to roll with his true backup. Sorry, just making that claim real quick. Hopefully that'll process soon. And when does this waiver wire process? Will process October 20. Oh, I can't add anyone.
Oh, is this the Megala Bowl?
No, this is a different league I'm in.
Oh.
This is the $250 buy-in league.
Why are you ineligible to pick up a player?
It says move will process at October 27, 11 a.m.
Oh.
It must just lock the rosters an hour before game day or something like that, which is kind of messed up.
It should not do that. Yeah.
I
would try to make another claim on somebody else, see what's up.
Yeah. What the hell is going on here?
Unless you're trying to drop a player who already played, that might be the reason.
No, I'm trying to drop the Saints, but let's see if I can drop the Saints and just pick up the whatchamacallits, the tight ends. Players, add players, tight ends. The other thing I hate is it doesn't sort by projections. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Do I have to put $1 in or something? Like what the hell is going on?
Tough last minute decisions. And now I'm realizing I'm having a crisis on my roster as well, because how we just said I want to start Kenyan Drake over Alex Collins. Well, now since Damien Williams has been activated off the COVID list, he's in my IR slot, and I can't move Kenyan Drake into the active roster because I have to remove this ineligible player from my IR slot before I do that. But then I have to drop somebody I don't want to drop.
Well, just drop Alex Collins if you're not starting Alex Collins.
But if he's healthy, so I would. But if he's healthy next week, he's probably the RB1 on this team, unless Rashad Penny, of all people, can take that away from him. And Chris Carson's on IR. I don't think Chris Carson's going to play more than a couple games for the rest of the season. Like, Alex Collins could actually be a pretty good running back long term. But obviously there's no guarantee of that. I'm just willing to say that he has a chance. But it's either I drop him or Damien Williams or one of my main starters who are on bye this week. I can't do that.
That's funny. All right. Well, let's go through these pick'ems real quick, and then I'm going to email the commissioner of that league to see if I can pick up a player.
All
right. Atlanta, Miami.
Oh, what a terrible game. I think Atlanta, they're coming off the bye week. Miami has been looking terrible. I think they'll do something right and win against Miami this week.
Agreed. It's home for Miami, but Miami's real bad. Panthers, Giants.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna say the Panthers. They're just healthier. Sam Darnold looking for a bounce back game. I don't think Daniel Jones and the wide receiver 4 and 5 on that roster can really get it done.
Yeah, Giants are just really banged up, and Carolina has a decent defense. Cincinnati, Baltimore. That's probably Baltimore.
Yeah, I gotta lean Baltimore there.
Kansas City, Tennessee.
I'm just hoping for an explosive, good game, which I think we're going to get. Both defenses are, nothing to write home about.
I'm leaning Tennessee, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to let it happen. I think that Derrick Henry will have a phenomenal game, potentially 200 yards, but I think Patrick Mahomes is just a more clutch guy. I think they'll get it done through the air, and with Travis Kelce, Tyree Kill, Titans are not going to be able to slow them down at all.
Yeah, I just think there is a chance that Tennessee's able to dominate time of possession with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, if Tennessee gets out ahead and they can just keep running it down their throat with Derrick Henry, like if Derrick Henry gets hot early and he, has a good first drive or two, then they're in trouble.
Yeah.
You can't slow Derrick Henry down just like you can't slow Kelsey down. So
All right. Jets and Pats.
I'm praying it's the Patriots, man. It would be depressing if we lose to the Jets. I'm leaning that heavily. They are negative 335 odds to win. So
I think it's a little weird how favored the Patriots are to win. They're not that much better than the Jets.
which is tough. It's a reality that I'm grappling with right now, but they are at home at Gillette Stadium, and the Jets looked abysmal in their first matchup against the Patriots. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to throw 4 interceptions, but I think he'll throw 2. He's looking rough under pressure. The Patriots will be able to traditionally great against the Jets, so I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, I would definitely favor the Patriots in that. Those odds are just crazy to me. It should be closer to a pick 'em. Washington, Green Bay.
Definitely Green Bay.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Washington defense has been terrible. Rams and Detroit is obviously the Rams. Philly and Vegas is an interesting one. I think the Eagles could win, but I would lean Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very close. Like if the Eagles can, I don't know, get a running game going, then they have a much better shot than if they just rely on Jalen Hurts to make something happen magically in the fourth quarter every time. That's just so difficult to rely on. But the Raiders looked great last week, which I wasn't expecting. So the Eagles just have to get out to a good start to keep up, I think.
Absolutely. Eagles have a lot of their starting O-line pieces back with Lane Johnson returning and Mailata sliding back over to the left. So that could help. Tickets for that game, most expensive in the NFL this week, which is probably not surprising. It's in Vegas and Philly fans travel well. Chicago Bucks, obviously the Bucks there.
Yep, got to pick the Bucks.
Cardinals, Houston, obviously the Cards.
Yep.
And then Niners, Colts. That's a really tough one. I honestly have no idea. I lean Niners, but I don't know.
Yeah, the Niners are favored considerably, but I don't know. I think it's going to be very close. If Carson Wentz looks as good as he did last week, they could easily take the game. But I do think the 49ers have a good shot at winning. But I'm going to go Colts here. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to take over, and they're just going to need a couple touchdowns from Wentz to seal the deal here.
You'd always be struggling through something.
I believe we are losing a little bit of connection here, a little connectivity issues. Nathan is frozen on my screen. Maybe you're hearing him, but I am not. So the last game.
It's like we do have.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap this up with a. Oh wait, we had a message from Ryan H that was retracted.
What? This guy is an enigma. Ryan H, who are you, man?
Who are you, Ryan H? We just want to know. Message retracted. All right. Well, we do have a question from Alex B in the chat. Higbee or Ertz, both are available. I had to make this decision myself in a league, and I went with Ertz, but I am very biased towards Zach Ertz. I think the smarter play is probably Higbee.
I would lean Higbee, just that revenge matchup game with Matt Stafford against the Lions. I don't think they're going to let up. I think that Higbee has a better shot than Ertz at a touchdown. Ertz, his first week joining the Cardinals team, so I would just lean continuity there with Higbee, showing to be pretty good tight end this year so far. Nothing explosive from him quite yet, but a serviceable guy. Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well, with the lineup issues that we're having and the internet instability issues that we're having, I think we're probably going to wrap this thing up unless we have any other questions coming through in the chat. Good luck this week too, Alex. Appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you guys next week or Monday or whatever when we do the actual podcast.
That is correct. Thanks for joining us. Good luck in your matchups on the Spy Apocalypse. Have the tissues ready. I'm going to be crying a little bit, I think.
I might not even check my scores today. I might just like watch football.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at all. I'm just going to watch it. I might check before the 4:00 game start to see if I have a chance at anything. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, don't get too down on yourself this week. All right, guys.
Next
Thanks so
week will
much.
be better. All right. See you, everybody.